This video is going to show you how to replace a keyboard on a MacBook Pro. You'll need a set of special screwdrivers that kind of look like this. So they basically have a star-shaped end. So just get yourself a set like this on eBay or somewhere else. So we'll start with removing all those screws here. And then I typically just like to kind of mark their location here, and this will allow you to lift off the lid here, and this gives us access now to the insides of the laptop. So next we're going to remove the battery connector. Okay, so that's the battery. Then we'll disconnect the keyboard. Fan. So we're going to lift this, and then you just pull out the connector. There you go. And we'll do the one on this end. Now we're going to lift this connector here. It just pops up here. There you go. Okay, we're gonna get the other speaker. There you go. It's the speaker, and then we gotta get this one out. So this one just pulls up like this. There you go. So this is this connector. Now we're gonna remove those screws for the fan. Okay, and then keep in mind where you have the screws with the bolts. So you put them in the right position. Sometimes they're not the same size. And before you lift up the fan, it's held in with a small connector here, so we'll have to disconnect this as well. Okay, so you lift that tab in the end, and then you pull it out. There you go. So it kind of pulls out. And now you can lift out the entire fan. And then we'll do the same on the other side. Next, we're gonna remove the SSD. And then just lift it up and pull it out here. Disconnect both of those connectors. Okay. And then we'll just leave them attached to the fan. Remove the fan screws. Again, mark them because they're not the same. And the last one is hidden underneath here, and we'll have to remove some cables still. Next, we're removing the Wi-Fi module. And we'll see if we can do all this while keeping the cables connected. So I'm gonna just slightly lift it, and then you pull it out. There you go. It's coming out. Now we're removing the connector for the fan. So we lifted this little lip again. So just lift it, and then you kind of push it this way. See, so it kind of comes out like this, right? So I'll try and do it so it's shown in the camera. There you go. So that's how it comes out. We'll see now if we can get the fan out. Just try and slide it out here. There you go. So that's the fan. Okay, next we're going to remove this connector here. Should allow us to remove that. And now we're going to remove those two bolts here. This one. The other one here. Okay, so here's number 2. And then we'll try and get this entire module out. Okay, so that allowed us to remove the module. Okay, now we're going to remove this cable. So we're just going to push it out. There you go. Next, we're going to remove the motherboard. There are a few more connectors to remove. So there's the first one. So there's one. Then there's one over here. So on the back, you remove that. So you lift that up and then you just pull out the connector. There you go. And then we got a really small connector here, so don't miss that one. Just lift it. Then kind of pull it out. So that's that one. And then we had one more here next to the power connector that we didn't remove yet. That one just kind of pops up. There you go. So this should be all the connectors. If we find another one, we'll capture it. And now we're going to remove all the screws. So here's the first one. It's going to give you an idea where we are. The next one's here. We got one more here. Again, you know, they may not be exactly the same size, so. Then we've got one here in the middle. One here at the end. And then there's one more bolt hiding under here. So that's the other end of the heatsink, and we do not need to remove the heatsink. And now we're ready to get out the motherboard. So we'll have to kind of wiggle it out. And again, you know, make sure all your connectors are out of the way. Okay. And we're coming out, you know, from those connectors here. We're holding. And this should be good. Just make sure we don't. There's something still holding here. I think we need to do something here. Remove this. I think this is what we're still holding. There you go, yeah. We had one more. So that's the motherboard. Next, we'll remove those two plastic pieces here that were part of the fan. And then the other one we've already removed the bolt earlier. And now next we're going to underneath the this plastic piece here, there are two more screws. They're holding the battery frame here. So there's one. And the other one here is on this side here. There you go. Okay. And now we're gonna have to remove that plastic, that aluminum shielding that is behind the keyboard. So what we're doing then is just heating up adhesive here. It's going to be easier to remove it, and we'll kind of go slowly and try to get this off. And try, as you're doing this, just take your time so you don't rip it, because we'll have to reuse this particular piece. Okay, heat it up some more. And let's get this piece here. Go. Okay, we're gonna heat it up some more now. Okay, let's heat it up here a little bit more. There we go. And this side. Finish this side now. And it does not need, it just needs a little bit of heat. So that kind of got us now kind of to this point here. You see the keyboard underneath, and now we just gotta get this somehow out. There you go. So that's the backlight. Is the connector that is connected to it. Okay, so that's the keyboard now, and the keyboard is just pressed in. Basically, we're gonna just have to remove the keyboard and then replace it with a new one. Okay, there are two more screws here. They're Phillips that you need to remove. So one was here. It's kind of hiding underneath the battery. Here's the other one. A little bit of Here's the second one. That's what it looks like. And now we're going to basically have to rip the old keyboard out. This is our point of no return. And I think we're gonna have a whole bunch of those things flying out. I'm gonna try and put my finger over them as we rip this out. There we go. And here's our old keyboard that had a few keys not working. So now that we got a keyboard out, we're gonna put a replacement keyboard in. One thing I wanted to point out is that we are supposed to screw in the keyboard with the little replacement screws, and in some areas, where we pulled out the keyboard, we got the little holes, which is what we want to basically screw in the screws. But then there are some areas here, like for example this one, where it kind of broke off differently. So we got quite a few of those, which may not allow us to put the keyboard in as stable of a manner as we want to, but we'll see how this turns out in a moment. So let's put in the new keyboard. There you go. So here's the keyboard now. And now wherever we can, we will screw the little screws in to... So now what we're going to do is we're going to put those little screws that came with the keyboard, and wherever we got a hole, we'll basically tighten them in. In some cases, we got like little studs still sticking out because when we removed the keyboard, that's how, it quote unquote broke off. And so what we'll have to figure out is, once we have all of those in, is this stable sufficiently enough, or are we going to have to maybe drill a little hole into it to be able to attach it in more places. So basically want to go through all of the available holes on the keyboard and attach it. So that's you know, kind of a tedious task. I'm not going to film all of it, but that gives you an idea. Right, so there are some that we had to drill the holes in, and you got to really be careful not to drill through the keyboard, so we can reinforce it so that the keys are not you know, too going too deep into the frame of the where the keyboard is sitting. So here's how we do this. And then you gotta just vacuum up any of the shavings from the drill bit, and then we're gonna, you know, there you go. So basically we convert it, for example, one kind of looks like this, you know, to somewhere we can secure it with a screw. Okay, so we got the keyboard in now, and you'll see I had to kind of drill quite a few holes here to be able to put in the screws. And so this is kind of what it looks like now. We of course attached the two that are underneath here. If you recall, we took two out. There were, one was here and one was on this side. And now the next thing we're gonna do is basically put in this cover, which is, you know, the backlight, and just attach it. So then, you know, we just line it up here, kind of, and then use the glue that's still present. So next, we're going to install this board here, and just gotta line it up perfectly here. There we go. Okay, so now we're gonna put those plastic pieces that are part of the fan. We need a little screw here. Okay, this one goes here. This one just lines up over this here, like this. And now we're going to install the motherboard. So we gotta make sure that the cable is underneath the motherboard and that all of those little connectors are not in the way. So let's make sure that our power connector has not been disrupted in any way. It has not. And now we're gonna install this. I'm gonna do a little bit of maneuvering here. I have this. I need this one here. And then there's one more here that I think it got stuck underneath. This one here. Okay. Got this. And then we got one more here on this side I gotta fix, and then those parts from the vent. There you go. So now we just have to push in the. So,
there's another one somewhere here.
Oh, it just fell. There you go. This one. So we have this one, this one, this one here. Keyboard we just taped because it kept falling back down, and those two here, and this one here. So now we're going to need to just push this enough in so the holes line up here. And what you'll want to do is you want to push those connectors here, the metal piece, so it comes underneath the. So now we've got this attached. We've got this module in here. This one here. Okay. And this one here. Then we'll attach the motherboard. So here. We'll put this little plastic cap over it. Then put the longer black screw in. Another longer one. Then a shorter one, silver. And then we've got a short one here. Okay, and one more here in the center. Okay. Okay, so now we're going to install the connectors. So we'll start with the keyboard one. Wiggling it in. Here we go, and then we'll push this piece down here at the end to lock it in. So here's the keyboard, and we'll push this one down here. So that is connected. We will skip the battery for now. Then we'll connect this one. This one we'll just press down, line it up and press it down. There you go, so this one's in. Then we'll do this one here. It's in. And then flip this over. Then we'll do this one here. This one you just line up and press down. Right. Should be a lot easier than it looks. There you go. So this one's on. Then we'll do the one here. There we go, pushing it in. Then locking with this end piece. We'll do then this one. So just press on. Make sure that it's on right. Yep, it is. Okay. Then the speaker, there we go, this connector, and then lock. So that's done. And now we're ready to install the fan. So here's the fan that goes to the right hand side. And we'll line this up first correctly. And we will need to get the fan also connected here. Lock in the connector down. Now we're gonna take the screws. So the smaller screws were here. So here's one. This one here. Then you push those connectors down. Here's one. The other, it's going to have to be oriented correctly. There we go. And then secure it here. Then we need to install the second. So I'm lining up here the cable right away. There we go. Install the this now since we're done. And then connector here for the fan and just lock it down here. There you go. Okay, so now we're taking the Wi-Fi module. We're plugging, I think this is the camera. We're pushing this connector in. Almost there. There you go, it's in. And the Wi-Fi connector. Just push this in. And then we'll secure it. We'll push those cables down. This was basically kind of glued down here. Comes over here, and then theirs was like this. And it kind of clipped in here on this side. So there's one set of cables that need to go through. I believe the other set was going like this. There you go. And that brings us now to the last piece, which is getting the battery brace here. If you recall, it was connected here with those screws there. Here we go. Here's one for the battery brace. And then we'll do the other one. The other side. So after we put in the second battery brace screw, then we attach the power battery power to the motherboard. And now we're going to just put the cover over it. All right, as a last step, we're going to turn back on the computer and just check the keyboard, make sure that it's working. And once you've confirmed that all of the keys are working on the keyboard, that will complete the replacement and successful installation for you. Hopefully you found this video helpful, and thank you for watching.